Hi everyone, welcome to this first session of Equity for CFA Level 2. Today we'll be starting up with the first reading of equity itself, which is a fairly basic reading. So before we get into the reading, I just want to give a quick overview of how equity at level 2 would be. So equity by itself is probably one of the biggest topics at CFA level 2. So just like at level 1, you had something like FRA, which had a lot of content, a lot of readings. Similarly, you have equity at level 2. But the good thing is that the content of equity at level 2 is building on a lot from level 1 itself. Like some of the calculations, as we get along in the further readings, you'll realize the one calculation that is repeating throughout the entire equity curriculum. It is carried over from your level 1 itself. So there would be some new changes, but my first suggestion or first point I would like to clarify to everyone is just because equity has a lot of content, don't be afraid of it. Equity is the easier part of CFA level 2, and my suggestion would be that yes, it would be a little tiring because there would be a lot of classes and a lot of time that you'll have to devote for equity, but do make sure you practice questions because equity is very scoring topic for CFA level 2. Now, let's move on to the first reading. The first reading is applications and processes of equity valuation. Basically, this reading serves as a sort of a recap of everything that we've covered at CFA level 1. So details about equity valuation, what are the different naming schemes. So we have actual price, intrinsic price, fair value. What do all of these mean? What are the other ways of valuation? Why do we need a valuation? So a lot of the stuff that you've already done at level 1, just a recap over here. So let's start with the first section of today's class. So the first section of the reading that we'll be covering is just an introduction of various terms that we use for different kinds of valuation. So we have intrinsic value, liquidation, fair market, and investment value. Let's look at them individually. So firstly, we have intrinsic value. Intrinsic value means a value that an informed investor would assign to a particular security or an asset. In simple terms, any knowledgeable investor, he'll collect a lot of information whenever he has to do valuation. Once he collects that information, the price or the value that he thinks is justified for a particular security, that is known as intrinsic value. So the key phrase here is it has to be an informed individual, someone who has the knowledge. We're not talking about just a random investor, we are talking about a knowledgeable investor. So we are talking about someone who would do the due diligence and who would do proper analysis, proper modeling to get to the valuation. Now, specific to intrinsic value, there is one particular equation that is highlighted in your slides. Now, that equation might not be really tested from a practical perspective, but it does bear importance in specific understanding of what intrinsic value is and how it might be different from the actual value. So let's look at that equation. The equation we have is specifically talking about differences of intrinsic value as calculated by an analyst compared with price, the actual market price. So that concept or that equation is saying the intrinsic value that an analyst in the market is calculating, when you compare it with the market price, there can be certain differences between that. That difference can be explained by two separate components. So this difference is split into two parts. First part is the difference between intrinsic value of an analyst and intrinsic value actual. Now, what does this mean? We just covered the meaning of intrinsic value. It is what an informed investor would assign a value to the security using all of his knowledge. Now think logically. Think 100% theoretical case. Under the most ideal circumstance, when I want to calculate value of something, I would like to use 100% of the information available to me, which means any information that is out there, I like to use that to calculate the intrinsic value. But in the real world, due to time constraints, because when you have to do valuations, you don't have an entire year to analyze 100% of the information, because by the time you get your valuation, more information keeps on adding. The investment world is very dynamic. So in the real world, we are not always using 100% of the information. Rather, we focus on the most important sets of information, and that's what we use. So that is intrinsic value as estimated by an analyst. And actual is basically a theoretical idea as to what the intrinsic value would be if 100% of the information was considered. So the difference between intrinsic value as estimated by an analyst and the price, the first component is the difference simply occurring due to the selection of information. An analyst is focusing on most of the important pieces of information, whereas the actual is considering all of the information available in the market. The second price difference is between intrinsic value actual minus price. This is talking about a situation where if every information was available, what would be the ideal price of the security and what the actual market price is. That difference is purely observed in the market due to imbalances of demand and supply. So at times, there can be market momentums, there can be recessionary periods where we have extreme overreaction from the public and there is panic selling. Those situations often end up creating a scenario where the intrinsic value should be something relatively stable, but the prices are extremely volatile because of extreme imbalances between demand and supply. So this is the difference caused in market primarily due to demand supply imbalances or momentum. And this is the difference caused in prices due to selection of information done by the analyst. So an analyst is not selecting 100% information all the time. So any lack or any difference of price is covered by the first part. So it is saying the actual difference in the analyst estimated price and the market price existing there is explained by these two factors. So this is provided in your syllabus as an equation form. So I just thought I'll clarify on that. Moving on, we have something known as liquidation value. Liquidation value is specific to events of liquidation. When I want to close off my business, shut down the business, I'll have to look at the values at which I'll be able to sell the assets and the amount I'll have to pay off for all of my obligations, for all of my liabilities. And that is used to estimate liquidation value. After that, we have fair market value. Fair market value in concept is very similar to intrinsic value. There is just a small difference. So fair market value is the value at which someone would willingly trade his asset or his security to another individual. The condition is both of them have to be informed individuals or rational investors, which means we are not talking about just a random investor. We're talking about an informed investor deciding a price at which he is willing to sell a security to another informed investor. The key difference between intrinsic value and fair market value is fair market value is always in concern with a trade transaction, which means it is only observed when you actually are interested in buying or selling of securities. Whereas intrinsic value is a concept that holds true in and of itself, even if you are not dealing with the security. So intrinsic value of one share is the value to it. Fair market value or fair value, that would only come into picture if you actually are thinking about investing in it or you are actually taking a transaction on it. That is when fair value concept would come into play. Aside from that difference, that one is in connection with buying and selling and the other is just out there, universal, both of them are fairly similar. Lastly, we have investment value. This is subjective to the investor. So this is finally acknowledging that different investors have different needs. So investment value is the value assigned to any asset or security by the specific investor. So the last part, investment value, this is finally acknowledging and not everyone out there is going to be an informed investor. Some might be a little more emotional in terms of their decision making. So sometimes you may have purely capitalistic intentions. So talking about large financial institutions, they might not have too much emotions while making decisions of financial nature. So different investors have different set of expectations and needs. Their risk return tolerances are different and they would assign their respective values to different securities. For someone who doesn't like risk, a risky asset might be very bad and he would value it very low. But someone who is willing to take the risk, for him, the risky asset is a way of earning higher returns, and he might be willing to pay more price for that. So investment value, the key part is it is subjective and it would differ from one investor to another. Now, the key thing here is the reason why you need to know all of these is because equity valuation is basically doing valuation of equity shares of a company. But that valuation would be done specific for a reason. If you're doing it for an investment purpose, you're recommending some investments to the public at general, you'll be going for intrinsic value or fair market value. But if you're doing that in connection with some sort of liquidation of the company, maybe you are supposed to value the equity shares if a liquidation event happens. So maybe a company has been doing some defaults, and you want to know that if in fact bankruptcy is filed, what could the value of the share be? Would there be any value of the share in that case? So in that case, you will be more concerned with the liquidation value, how much money the liquidation will leave for the equity investors. So it is very important to know all of them because the context in which you are calculating valuation, that will decide which value is better suited for your purpose. So I hope that clarifies the introduction part. Let's move on to the next discussion.